And joining me now is our big newsmaker, Mr. Manish Tewari, a member of parliament of the Congress party and also a lawyer. Mr. Tewari, you're also in a black shirt. The protest certainly seems to be continuing inside and outside the parliament as well. What exactly is the Congress party waiting for? The view is that you should have, there is this view that perhaps you are waiting for the Supreme Court to decide on Lakshadweep MP's plea for restoration of his membership, which will be some kind of a trial balloon for Rahul Gandhi, and then only you'll be going in for appeal. What really explains this delay?
Well, Maria, I would request you not to extrapolate conjectures and try and piece them together to create some kind of, I won't even call it legal fiction, but fiction. As I understand, Mr. Gandhi's legal team is seized of the judgment. It's a 168 or 170-page judgment in Gujarati. Obviously, getting it translated takes time because it is not only a word-to-word translation, but to get the nuance also right. And obviously, they will go and approach the Court of Appeal, which is the Court of Sessions in this particular instance, in order to ensure that this conviction and sentencing is set aside.
Okay, Rahul Gandhi at present stands disqualified. The sense from the Election Commission is that they could even announce a by-poll. That would certainly put the Congress party in a fix. There are also the voices within the legal fraternity which say that post-conviction disqualification is given. It is almost immediate. So then why is the Congress party not seeking a legal remedy?
Well, that's an erroneous position in law, and let me explain it to you. Article 102(1)(e) very clearly states that in case a person is convicted and sentenced for a period of 2 years or more, he would be disqualified. That power of disqualification does not lie with the Lok Sabha Secretariat or even the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. It lies under Article 103 of the Constitution with the President of India, and the President of India has to exercise that power in consultation with the Election Commission, whose recommendation would be binding upon the President. So therefore, unlike where cabinet decisions or the advice of the cabinet is binding on the President, in this particular instance, when it comes to disqualification of a member of parliament, it is the advice of the Election Commission which is binding on the President. So therefore, the order passed by the Lok Sabha Secretariat is per se illegal, and it does not stand the test of constitutionality. And let me explain it how this situation came about. In 2013, when the Supreme Court in Lily Thomas decided to take away the protection which was available to elected representatives, that in case they get convicted, the moment they file an appeal, till the time the appeal process is not over, they can continue to be members of whichever house, parliament or the state legislatures. The Supreme Court in Lily Thomas took away that power or struck down 8-4, saying that it is excessive use of parliament of its own part. But they did not touch 8-3. And so therefore, what does 8-3 says? It says that a member shall be disqualified. It does not say that a member stands disqualified. 8-3 was not reinterpreted by the Supreme Court, even in Lily Thomas. So what does that mean? It means when you say shall be, it means a process will be followed. And that process is Article 102 and 103 of the Constitution of India, which was not followed in this in this particular case. So for anyone to argue that post-conviction disqualification is an automatic process is an erroneous view in law. Number two, 8-3 envisages that two conditions have to be fulfilled: conviction and sentence. In this, and both those conditions have to run contemporaneously. In this particular instance, the court which convicted Shri Rahul Gandhi for 2 years,
Okay.
which in our view is an erroneous conviction,
Okay.
suspended the sentence and gave him 30 days to appeal. So even the two ingredients of Section 8(3) of the Representation of People's Act 1951, which would have set the disqualification into motion, do not stand fulfilled. And therefore, the tearing hurry that within 24 hours of the Gujarat court pronouncing the judgment, suspending the sentence, giving Shri Rahul Gandhi 30 days to appeal, Parliament, the Secretariat of Parliament went ahead and notified his disqualification, which, in my estimation, is per se an illegal order.
Since you're saying that the Speaker's decision is erroneous and illegal, my question is, Mr. Tewari, is the authority of Speaker the final one in this case?
No, it is not. Insofar as disqualification of members of Parliament is concerned, and I would commend that you and your viewers actually read the article which the former Secretary General of the Lok Sabha, Mr. PDT Achari, has written in today's Hindu. I think it explains the legal position explicitly. And Mr. PDT Achari, who was Secretary General of the Lok Sabha for a very long time, argues that the power of disqualification does not lie with either the Lok Sabha Secretariat or, for that matter, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. It only lies with the President of India, and that's the correct position in law.
Okay. Tell me, okay, now I'm going to shift a focus to the politics of it. The BJP is saying that what is playing out right now is also the internal differences in the Congress party. INB minister and a BJP leader, Mr. Anurag Thakur, has said that there seems to be some kind of well-planned conspiracy within the Congress to get rid of Rahul Gandhi. There is also a view that the Congress wants to make the best of it because the Karnataka elections are not very far, and Rahul Gandhi can be presented as a martyr on what clearly and purely is a judicial issue.
Well, first of all, if somebody wants to raise a ghost and then slay it and call himself a Superman, I do not think I would like to dignify his comments with a rebuttal, because they're outrightly absurd, for the lack of a better word. Number two, there is no conspiracy out here. The fact is that a member of Parliament's membership of the House, a House to which he was elected by the people of his constituency, Wayanad in this instance, has been taken away by a process and a procedure which per se does not meet the test of law. So therefore, it is not about Shri Rahul Gandhi alone. You can tomorrow file a case against any member of Parliament or any MLA, get it fast-tracked, and eventually, if there is a conviction, take away his membership. And that's why the lawmakers had very correctly put in that caveat, that safeguard in 8(4), in order to safeguard elected representatives from malicious prosecution. And therefore, under those circumstances, it is important that we revisit the Lily Thomas judgment, and we need to reinstate that safeguard. And moreover, when the Election Commission in the Lok Prahari matter in 2018 had argued that disqualification is imminent or automatic after conviction, the Supreme Court recorded the Election Commission's observations but did not render a finding on it. Moreover, the Supreme Court in para 16 of that judgment clarified that if a court of appeal was to stay the conviction and the sentence, the act of disqualification would get automatically wiped out. So, therefore, under those circumstances, the moot point is, when the Surat court gave 30 days to Mr. Gandhi to file an appeal, suspended his sentence, what was the tearing hurry to take away his membership the very next day?
Yes, and that's a question that is being asked repeatedly by not just the Congress but other members in opposition as well. My last question to you, sir. You're one of those MPs who have been raising voice regularly against defamation. You have said that there is a need to review defamation and raise the bar for disqualification because of the political environment that we are in, and with all kind of speeches being seen as hate speeches. What does it actually mean for the political class going ahead, particularly with the battle lines so sharply drawn?
Well, it's not a question about the political class alone. I think it has more to do with people like you who are in the public space 24 into 7. Now, tomorrow, if you make a comment on air or you write something which somebody does not like, and in some faraway place they file a defamation case against you, right? The process itself becomes the punishment. Traveling all the way to that particular court in order to first secure bail and then argue your matter. And that's why in 2013, when I was INB minister, I had very strongly argued that defamation is a civil offense. It should be decriminalized. But unfortunately, those people who were in the opposition then and whose support we required in order to see that for Section 499 and 500 are actually deleted from the Indian Penal Code, their support was not forthcoming. Unfortunately, some of them are dead and gone, and it's not good to talk about people who are no longer in this world. But I can say this with the fullest sense of responsibility that I believed it then and I believe it now, that defamation is a civil wrong. In fact, the law of torts in this country on defamation needs to be tightened, but the criminal aspect needs to be taken away. And I think the time has come for the Supreme Court, in an appropriate case, to read down Section 499 and 500 of the Indian Penal Code, just as they read down Section 377 of the IPC and decriminalized same-sex relationships.
All right, Manish Tewari, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Shifting focus.